Good afternoon, everybody, and thanks for joining us for our BigFix webinar series. For those of you that have been here before, welcome back. For those of you who have not been on before, we have done 4 of these prior to summer, and those are all recorded as well as today. If you are interested, you can go to Champion Solutions Group, our channel on YouTube, and find where we started the webinar series. Like I said a few months ago. Today, we're going to talk about the move from IBM to HCL and what it means to you. So we've got a lot of things to share with you about the move. But at the end, we'll start talking about what's coming up next and the meat behind everything as we go forward. So I'd like to introduce you to our host today. We have Dan Powers with Champion Solutions Group, and we have Kathy Wynn from HCL. So they've teamed up to talk to you today about the move. And if anybody has questions, by the way, you can ask questions through I think it's on the bottom for all of you. Ask questions and we'll make sure we get those answered before the end of the webinar. Dan and Kathy, take it away.
All righty. Well, thank you. This is Dan Powers. Thank you for those people joining us today. We're definitely very happy that we have Kathy Wynn with us. She was from IBM, now obviously over at HCL. So the purpose of today, and we're going to keep them just because we did send the polling out and we did the last sessions of these, we're keeping them small, 30 minutes, and we have a bunch of these that we're going to keep going throughout the end of this year. But everybody determined that 30 minutes was a good amount of time. It wasn't an hour. We didn't try to get too much of your time. So that's what we're going to go through today. And what we're really focusing on is get people excited about HCL, their investment of BigFix, and that's where Kathy's going to come greatly important here. So with that, we can go on, and lovely Miss Kathy can start talking to us about why HCL and Endpoint Manager is going to be awesome of the future of BigFix.
Thank you, Dan. My name is Kathy Wynn, and again, I wanted to thank everyone for joining this webinar. And I am a technical advisor at HCL, BigFix technical advisor in the Southeast region. However, we are a team here at HCL, so we actually help each other out. It doesn't matter really where we're at. We are all a team, and we're more than happy to engage with all customers of BigFix. Why HCL why is it such an important time for BigFix right now at HCL? Well, if you guys don't know already, HCL was developing BigFix and supporting it back in 2017 before the acquisition. In 2018, we had more than doubled developers for BigFix. So now that BigFix is owned by HCL, it's a very exciting time for us. There's a couple things such as BigFix 10 that is coming out. I can't speak of that too much just because product management will be speaking of that, but we do have webinars and they're already up on our site, which I'll be talking about towards the end of the webinar in regards to rewatching these webinars to see what is in store for BigFix 10. So we have user groups. Tons of user groups are being planned behind the scenes right now. Currently, last week myself and Dan Powers was at a BigFix user group in Albany, our very first user group in upstate New York. And I think Dan Powers is actually at a user group right now in Charlotte. Correct?
Yes, that is correct. Actually, I just got off the stage. It's actually in Charlotte. Great turnout here. I was just presenting the ServiceNow integration, and I had a run out from there, and I'm in a hallway speaking with you now from the webinar. So the great part about that is we had some great turnout at these user groups, and we're going to show you where the next user groups are coming in, as well as, like Kathy had mentioned, those mastery classes, which this year were free if you can get to them. They have new client support. These are the things we want to part to you today. This is kind of that overview. Client advocates, the boot camps, and finally, we'll follow it up with a few questions. Again, I know people probably want to ask Kathy a bunch of things about version 10, which I got a little glimpse of it in the roadmap here at this user group, but I know Kathy can't divulge too much of that. So just keep that in mind.
It's a secret. But I will provide a link at the end for everyone who has questions or interested.
Yeah, so I think, Kathy, what we were talking about, right, for this very first webinar, getting everybody back from the summer, we did kind of go silent, right? We were waiting for that whole transition to happen from IBM to HCL. I know a lot of our customers asked us a lot of questions. How's this going to affect me? What's the investment going forward? All of these cool things. And that's really the purpose of this first webinar. We're not even going to get into the console. We're not going to show you how to do patching, right, or those things. That'll be coming up. We really want to get you to understand how you can learn and engage continuously with the BigFix community. And Kathy can touch on some of the points that HCL has really invested quite a bit of resources, monetarily wise. And as Kathy, I've been speaking with her the last couple of weeks, and we were at the user group, how busy she's been around some of these things.
Yep, it's indeed a very, very, very busy time for us, which is great. It's a very good thing to be busy. Currently, we have some master classes coming up in San Francisco Bay Area and in Rome. There are 2 sessions in San Francisco, and there's 1 session in Rome. Feel free to reach out to your BigFix specialist or your BigFix technical advisor, or myself if you don't know who they are, or Dan Powers. I'm sure he can engage us. If you find that these locations do not work for you and you have a request for maybe a location where it's closer to home or where you're at, so definitely feel free to reach out to us. These master classes are basically more advanced classes, but I've been in some that some users have just started using BigFix, and it's a good overview, and you get to learn a lot from other BigFix users, and also you can engage with us HCLers and partners like Dan.
And Kathy, correct me if I'm wrong, they're still like 5 days long, right? I mean, it's a later start in the front, and Friday you kind of get out early, but it's still 5 days of real deep technical learning, correct?
I believe it's 4.
4 days.
And
okay.
then 4 days for the Emeryville one.
Okay, and fair enough.
We had back-to-back sessions. But we have back-to-back sessions. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. That's right. But again, if you guys get a chance, if you haven't been on the mastery class, a great way to go. You get to meet the developers. You're going to see people like JG Stu. Those people, if you're on the forums, you're going to know their names. They really get into it, and it's a lot of hands-on. So again, at the end of for the rest of this year, they're free. Again, if anybody wants to go to Rome, send email to Tammy and tell them you have to take me with you. But
and me.
And if you do get a chance to go, though, but you get a lot out of it in the days, and I know they're going to do some more next year as well. And it's a few $100s to attend and register for the class, but what you get out of that from learning is huge, in my opinion.
So I think these 2 are actually free of charge right now.
Correct. They are. They are.
Yep.
I just
in the
heard
future. Yep, you're right.
Yeah, I just heard Mr. Paquette. He was just saying that up on stage at the user group where I'm at today at Charlotte, and telling folks, right, hey, if you can get to these, they are free till the end of the year. So, but even after that, it's a few $100. So,
correct.
So again, I am at Charlotte today. Where are the other ones going to be held at there, Miss Kathy?
We're gonna have one in Chicago confirmed for October the 4th. We will have one in the Bay Area on the 14th. And I know we have one in Rome for October 24th. Yesterday, I just got confirmation that we will have one in Minnesota on October the 23rd. That is new. So again, if you guys do not see a location on there that's close to home, or you can't attend it, or if you can't, or if you as a customer want to host the user group, please reach out to us. We'll try our best to make it happen.
Yeah, and I'd like to reiterate that, because I know obviously I'm based down in Florida. You know, we have Tampa, Orlando, and it seems like Miami and Fort Lauderdale, even though they're close on a map, it seems to be quite a drive for people to attend the user groups. But for those folks, and I see a bunch of attendees that are on here that I know, if you'd like a user group in your area, please reach out to us so we can start organizing it. And especially if you could host one. The whole idea, it's supposed to be a user group, and today it was hosted by Duke Energy. They got up there and shared some of the things they're doing. Different users in this Charlotte area got up and presented just how they're leveraging, you know, everything from patch management to software distribution, how they're integrating it into other apps. So it's really just a great user community to sit down and chat. and the HCL folks obviously, come in with, the lunch provided and kind of help you do that organization. So if you don't see one of these on your area, please reach out to us because we want to keep the user groups going as much as possible.
Yeah, and I'm going to jump
agree.
in. I'm monitoring the questions, so if you want to take the opportunity to
Yeah.
volunteer, just put it in the question box, and we'll take your information and get back with you.
Excellent. And what do we got for the relevance boot camps, Kathy?
Well, we had a couple relevance boot camps that were already over with, which were last week. They were in UK and the Bay Area. There is one coming up, not quite confirmed yet, but close to it, and it most likely will be in Atlanta. There may be another one in the Southeast, but I have not gotten confirmation. But there will be more to come, of course. And again, if you want to see one where you're at, you can always reach out to us. I can't stress enough how these. Sorry, Dan. Can't stress enough how these events, classes, and user groups are so awesome. Just because the one we went to last week, myself and Dan, I always think that I'll go and not find anything new, but there's always something new to learn. There's always something that I did not know, and now I know. Attending these, so it's a great way to engage and learn and share your knowledge as well.
Yeah, and I'll reiterate that too, Kathy, because JG got up there and did something with the mod, and I was like, oh, I know what this is, I've seen it, but how he did it and what he did it for was something I just never thought of, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So again, every time you go to one of these, it's a great experience, and it's great just meeting people like that, right? Again, JG Stu, Dan Paquette, some of these guys you see on the forums, and they answer your questions or whatever. It's kind of cool to meet them. Everybody's just fun to hang out with. But also, we had a great session last week where it was Stump the Admin. Now that's part of that user group where you had a developer, you had the local HCL folks that were there, and it was, hey, bring us your problem and let's see if we can sit here and interactively figure out how to do it. So it's not a staged, it's not a presentation. So if you have things that you're thinking, hey, I'm wondering if BigFix can do this, or I tried to do this and it's kind of working, bring that question to the users groups, because that's what these guys lived it for. So incredibly useful. Question though, Kathy, because I actually don't know the answer. The relevance boot camps, how long are those?
Usually they're 2-day classes. I think 8 hours a day. And they are also free of charge. Now, till the end of the year, they are free of charge. I do not know if that's going to change next year. Hopefully not. But if they do, it's probably not going to be more than a couple $100. It's just for, just so that people are going to show up and not sign up. So
right. It
that's
makes
what
sense.
the charge is really for. Yep.
Yeah. So let me jump in with a couple questions before you go on, guys.
Yeah.
The first question is, how do we get notified about the user group? So I think there's some folks that didn't know even about the user group in Charlotte. So that's the first question. And I don't know, Kathy, if you know that right off the top of your head, but I have asked people if they want to, certainly to give contact information over the questions so that we could get a hold of them. But I have to believe there's another way they can be notified.
Awesome. That's a great question. We have a few slides left over. I was going to touch on that, but we can go ahead and touch on that one. So the BigFix community Slack, if you're not already on there, I think it's by invite, but if you provide me an email address, I can get the person to invite you. The BigFix forum, which is forum.bigfix.com. We have a support site, support.bigfix.com. If you go to that site, and there is a link under, I believe, events, and there's a link called classes or masterclass user groups. You can see it there. We also post it on LinkedIn. So if you're not following BigFix already, or HCL software, or connected to myself or a technical advisor, we usually would post it on LinkedIn. We also have a BigFix Facebook page, and I think you just search BigFix. So those are the channels, social media, that we actually post these events on, but I usually would also get some contacts. If I have your contact, I will definitely send all that information over.
Okay, and then one more question, a couple of questions that are about the master's class is what would be the minimum to host a class, and is there anything planned for New Jersey or New York area?
I currently we don't have plans for New Jersey and New York yet. Not saying we won't in regards to masterclass, but can I get your contact and we can talk. I do not have the number for what does it take to get a class going. So if I can definitely get your contact and then reach out to the right person or team and get you that information.
Perfect. Well, I just got the contact, so we'll make sure you get that.
Awesome.
And
Thank you, Tammy.
Yeah, and I'll just reiterate, because some of the things Kathy said, so we have a slide for it, so we'll re-talk about some of the ways to get notified. But again, as far as user groups, though, to me, there isn't a huge, hey, what's the size, right? If you have your company, and especially if you want to host it and you have a couple folks there, and it's just an email into Kathy or even ourselves, and we'll help facilitate it to the right people. I think HCL is just saying, hey, if there's interest, we're going to come do it. Now, mastery class is a little bit different, right? Because they bring servers in, and it's a 5-day class. So, and again, I don't know that magic number either, but that's a little more intense. But as far as a user group and spending the day and getting some stuff out of it, again, guys, if you're out there and saying, hey, I really want to interface more, what I've also noticed is, we can go do a user group in, let's say, Orlando or Florida, somewhere in Florida, because I say that because that's where I am. And people don't realize, hey, you know what? Literally across the street or down the street from you is another company using BigFix, and they're doing the same things you are. And it's really after, even as champion, we walk away or at the end of it, or HCL, you have a contact of somebody right in your area that's doing the same things, and you guys can even start sharing ideas with each other. That's the purpose of the user group. It's not for champion to try to sell you something. It's not for HCL to sell you something. It's really just, hey, we have a great community here. We wanted to let you know you have like a bunch of people right in this area. So if you have that interest, please hit us up. We will know who else is in that area, and can we form the user groups. So to me, there's no real limit or number on that. Mastery class is a little bit different. So, but before I leave this page, Kathy, can you just talk, what is a design partner?
I am not, I'm going to be honest, that was on the original slide. Go ahead.
I'll take it, and the only reason I know, because they literally, and I'll be honest. Just before I went up on stage here in Charlotte, the two ladies got up and talked about what the design partner is. So as you know, they're trying to move some of this into the web UI. They're trying to make significant changes to the BigFix environment, and it really is exactly what it says: design partner. So above and beyond, hey, I want to support the Raspberry Pi, which obviously they just came out with that agent or something. It's, hey, what could we do from a design perspective to whether it's a report, whether it's how you click around, whether you organize data that already exists in BigFix. They're really looking at that type of stuff from the customers and saying, hey, give us feedback. And I listened to them talk, and they were saying, listen, we don't take this lightly as it bubbles up. They literally want to know who asked for this, who's the person, can we get on the phone with them? So they're really trying to take it serious to say, even down to, hey, you don't like this color, you don't like where the icons are. They're really trying to take the BigFix system, not just from a functionality standpoint, but from that, how it look and feels to make it work better for everybody. Okay, so to me, that's what I got out of what the design partner is, and they're really looking for those ideas. So again, purpose of this webinar to me was to get everybody excited about HCL and the type of effort they're putting behind keeping BigFix growing into the future.
Thank you, Dan. That's why you're on this call with me, and we have such a great relationship between Champion and HCL. Thank you so much.
This page is all you.
Thank you, sir. So as I was talking about earlier, we have a support site, support.bigfix.com. Basically, this is where you would enter your support tickets. If you have not done so already as a customer, give us a try. The only reason we say this is we want to make sure you're able to put in support tickets. You may need an HCL ID number. If you don't have that, please reach out to us. Your technical advisor or BigFix specialist will be able to get you that ID. And there's other things on this page that you can go to. So if we get to the next page, Mr. Powers.
Oh, sorry. This one?
Thank you. So this page is public facing. It's got all the links. So on this particular page, I think this is an older picture of this page, but there should be a section for events. And that is where, that was what I was talking about earlier. If you go to support.bigfix.com, you will see a section under events. There will be webinars that HCL hosts. We have several out there already, and we have more for you guys to register. Back to what I was talking about on BigFix 10, there was a webinar that happened recently, and it was on the roadmap. So if anyone is interested in BigFix 10, you can go out there and rewatch that video. We're doing Patch Tuesday webinars every month now. We have a Windows End of Life webinar, and there's other webinars in there that may be useful for your environment. So that's what you can do to go, that's where you can go to get this information. There's also the events where you have master classes, the user group, and such.
Yeah, and I think that you're right. This is because there's some view up here. If you see it, view cases, community, and there is a piece I cut off when I did the snippet of this for the classes that is there. What I liked about this one is it's a little bit cleaner. It's, you know, looking a little bit better from a supports perspective. But you know, I have a multiple bookmarks, right? BigFix.me, BigFix forums, the, you know, JG Stews, the GitHubs. This was kind of nice because it kind of organized all of these things. And right down to the learning. Now, again, they're adding more and more stuff into here. So to me, this was a great landing page that if you needed to remember or bookmark one URL, bookmark this one. And then from here, you're going to be able to look at videos, how-to videos. You're going to see the upcoming classes. You're going to be able to register for things. You're going to see all sorts of stuff. Even download the, you know, the documents or download the binaries if you needed to. So love how they kind of consolidated this stuff under one umbrella. So to me, this was pretty huge.
And one of the reasons I want to point this out, one of the reasons it's probably consolidated in such a manner is because one of the technical advisors actually did it, Matt Mangan. So as a customer, as a technical advisor, he actually, you know, he knows, you know, what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. So that's probably another reason why it's so, it's sorted out so well. But you are correct. I like it how you can just go to that landing page and get to everything there.
Yep, absolutely. Because I used to give people like a bunch of URLs. It's like, here's one. You can get to anywhere from here. So it's beautiful. So we did have questions, and I know we were answering some questions at the time. We are coming up to that. We have like 5 minutes. Like we said, we always try to keep these at 30 minutes. Feedback from everybody was 30 minutes was a great amount of time. We always stay on if there's questions to be asked or answered for further time. But again, we're trying to keep consistent where we do these 30-minute webinars. So I'll just take a minute, Tammy, if there's any other questions. Otherwise, we're going to talk about a few things that we will be doing in the next ones.
Yeah, no questions so far, Dan. So go ahead and start and to share what is coming next, and I'll keep my eyes open and interrupt if somebody asks a question.
So I'll take a shameless plug at Champion. So you saw obviously the BigFix from HCL single landing page. Also, if you hit championsg.com, we have our events out there. These webinars will be listed there. We also post our own videos. We do a lot of things. Hopefully some of you folks have heard it. I hate it when I'm at a customer and they play it because I hate listening to my own voice, but they do find useful. We do things of these natures. But one of the things that we're going to be doing next week, so this is, again, the first one, getting everybody jazzed up about HCL, excuse me, and BigFix in general and keep it going. But next week is the 5 reasons why you need Hero. in your environment. So again, my cool part of this, if you don't know what Hero is, tune in next week. I don't want to spoil it, but these are some of the things that they're investing in the BigFix platform that we just haven't seen before, some unique things. And there's also some other ones like Clara and other stuff coming out that we'll be going over in the next couple webinars. So I think this is a pretty good one here. So again, we're going to be doing this for the next 3 weeks, right, Tammy, consistently to get 4 more of these in. So we have 4 in this series. Tammy went silent. That's okay.
No, I didn't go silent. I wanted to mute. Yes, we will. I think we're doing about every other week, but you can find it when you go to our Champion site, like Dan said, and look at events. I do have questions here, and I'm going to answer them online. Where we have the previous webinars, I will give you the link. And actually, it's probably easier because people will leave this. I will promise everybody will get the link to the previous ones when we send out the follow-up email that will give you the link to the new ones and the old ones. So for any of you that want to go back and review the old, they will be there. And
I'll add to that. So as we were doing the presentations, the last series before the summer ended or started, I should say, we ran through a whole patching stuff, which is in there, and how to automate some of your patching. Obviously, a lot of things have changed. The biggest one being the IBM move over. So that's obviously where we wanted to start this one. But back to Tammy's point, as we will respond back to everybody that came here today with this presentation, links to the old ones. If there's something you want to see, and we did this last time and people came in and we kind of took, hey, you know, everybody's looking for more patching, or maybe it was a remote control inventory. If there's something that you're struggling with, you want to learn more about, or you'd like us to do a 30-minute webinar about it, please feel free to send that in. It's great for us to get feedback, and we would be more than happy to create something around the content you want to see, obviously. Anything else to add there, Miss Kathy?
I do not currently. Thank you.
Look at that. We're almost making it perfectly to 2:30. This is actually kind of good.
I think we do. I don't see any other questions right now, but everyone on this will receive the replay as well as that link we referred to. And hope you join us for the next one, guys. This is when we, really get in down and dirty with BigFix. Let's put it that way. That's what's coming up next.
Yeah. So usually how we run these, right? This was different because we kind of just wanted to come out of the summer thing with, hey, HLC's got this now. BigFix is going to be better than ever type thing, get people jazzed up again around the acquisition. But what we normally do, like when we did the patching series, we did keep it to that 30 minutes. We know everybody's busy, and each one of them built up on each other to where we had like an automated patching system rolling out. So those are the type of things we're going to keep doing. So again, we can't, only so much we can convey in 30 minutes, but they usually build on each other, where hopefully everybody will follow along and take advantage of knowledge that we could partake to you. So again, I appreciate you being here. I know it was only 30 minutes, but we certainly appreciate your time from Champion, its case as well.
Thank you for everyone's time.
Thanks, everyone.
Yay.